All eyes on Doge. Big runner. To the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big runner. To the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up, movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up, movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Monday. We got to get my banners up. What happened here? Hold on just a second. I thought I had that all set up and I didn't. I got that. Okay, now where's my border? Who stole my border? The live stream just like it reset up all its menus. Oh my gosh. I don't know how to go back to that. Do. Nope. Yes, stupid thing. Anyway, yeah, send the Border Patrol. Exactly, because where's the Border Patrol when you need them, right? Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know how to do it when you're already in. I guess I removed myself. Yeah, oh well. We'll do it without the border because I have no idea. So here we are, KrissPax channel. Welcome. The wrenches have taken over. The wrenches have taken over. Anyway, welcome. I'm KrissPax. We're here on a Monday. We got a lot to talk about, even though I kind of think we're going to go sideways for a bit. But how we got here and where we can go, where support may be, we're going to be looking at that here today. We are going to look at some, again, predictions from people who have too much money in the game. And they're not predictions. They're hopium. It's hopium, my friends. Hopium. But here we are at 10.8 cents right now. We did have overnight, we did have $9.99. We hit $9.99. Mar says he got 9.7. Wow. 9.7. Yeah, don't show him your wallet. Come on. Unless you're up over a long period of time, but short time, exactly. All right, so there we at 9.99 on the dip. We're back up to 10.8. We touched 11 this morning. So we're kind of going to be stuck between 10 and 11 cents, it looks like now. So we're in this range here, 10 to 11. But I want to talk about Bitcoin first, because again, Bitcoin is the one that's actually leading these moves. It really is Bitcoin. So let me zoom out even more. I'm going to get rid of that white line soon because that was my prediction. But we zoom out and we see a number of different things that have happened with Bitcoin. One thing I noticed is you see this double top here from 2024. The second one was bigger. And then we see this double bottom, right? And the second one was lower. And then when we moved up again over a late summer, we've got a double top. And the second one was higher. So now we had a bottom here, and the second bottom is lower. So there is a pattern happening here. There's a pattern happening. And what we don't want to see is a failure and a breakdown lower. because that would invalidate sort of this pattern of trading that Bitcoin has been having. However, if Bitcoin does instead move up, we see how high it goes. One of the things is the CME gap. We'll take a look at that. Yeah, there's a new CME gap, but it's higher, not lower than the current price because of the breakdown on Saturday. So Friday's close was much higher, and that is the CME gap. From Friday's close, CME on 5 days a week trading discounts the weekend and then comes back on Monday, and we have a gap. So we'll be watching that. Overall, with Bitcoin from the high in October 2025, Bitcoin is down 38%. Which is a big move for Bitcoin, but in a bear market, that is not the bottom. We would expect the bottom to be more like 70%. And so these are the predictions that many are making for Bitcoin to go down 70%, which then gets Bitcoin to about $38,000, about $38,000 Bitcoin. Now, we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know if there's going to be something that's going to push Bitcoin down that low. But I know a lot of people are going to be buying a crap ton of Bitcoin if it gets below 40K. Most have been, like me, looking at 69K, 67, 69, 69K, which we're not that far away, actually, from 69K. We're not that far away at the moment to 69K. It's about 12% down to 69K. So, and Bitcoin can do that if there's another big threat out there, whether it's like another Trump thing, right? Because that's been doing it, right? War, Iran, that'd be another Trump thing, right? If we do that. And then on Saturday, I did a video, which if you guys did not see, that is this financial crisis here. So the financial crisis is kind of looming right now. And in this video I made on Saturday, it's kind of overhanging everything. We see a lot of early signs from the real estate market, to gold and silver going crazy, although they've pulled back quite a bit since their highs late last week. But that's looming, is all of this stuff happening. And a lot of it is just fiat and paper money versus, the gold and the real stuff that's supposed to back all this. Although the United States is not on the gold standard. Well, that's still a lot of the problem. All the way back from 1971, the US government can just print money whenever. And then what happens is, as they're printing money, and although trueflation still shows inflation less than 1%, the government is still talking about 3% inflation. But when you've got a lot in crypto and crypto is going down, you're losing even more ground, because you're not only losing on the price, but then inflation keeps the prices of goods and services going up. And so there's a bigger gap there. So that's what happens. Now, I don't know what's happening with people in the comments and people replying to my X posts saying that I had certain predictions, and I'm just like, I never predicted $1.80 Dogecoin. I'm just like, I don't know what people are thinking. It's like, now remember a year ago when we thought we were still going to have a big bull market in 2025, I was showing charts from others showing $1.80, and I did say, well, we could hit something like that, but that would be conditional, and that would be on X money launching and Dogecoin being integrated on X. Then we could see that as being a huge catalyst, and we could see $1.80. So this guy probably remembers that and then took it all out of context. So, and yes, even in this morning's video of my February price prediction, I have the wild card in there, right? That's my get out of jail free card. But it's a good one. And if it works, then Dogecoin is going to go a lot higher. So that is So that was my video this morning was my Dogecoin February price prediction. And I'm sure all of you already saw that because you watch all of my price prediction videos. I know that. All of you watched that video. So, and you can raise your hand if you watched that video. I did buy back into Megal already last week at $1.18. I got $1.18 Megal, which is where the price is right now. It's back to $1.18. So, yeah, I talked about 9 cents after October 10th. October 10th changed everything. I was not talking 9 cent Dogecoin before October 10th because I thought we were still on an upswing, as Bitcoin was on an upswing as well. And we were talking still October and how October was going to play out. So anyway, Dogecoin February price prediction. Another good video. I cover a lot of stuff there. So kind of interesting that Bitcoin is at 78,000. And we look at silver, and silver is at $80 now. It was at 78. And I was looking for that. I was looking at that. If they're the same, right? 78K and $78, then we can really judge silver versus Bitcoin and see what's going on there. And silver's already gone up to $80 now. So we've got $80 silver and $78,000 Bitcoin. So it's just one of those things, right? We'll be watching that. But yeah, silver is still down from its all-time high last week. It's down 33%. Of course, nobody was buying silver at $120. I hope not. I hope not. We talk about green candles and red candles. That is a big green candle. You know, I might bet on the Patriots, actually, Ryan. I might bet on the Patriots. Because right now on Polymarket, I think Seattle's at like, I don't know, 62. And Patriots are at 38. So I get better odds betting the Patriots. So here's gold. And gold on the weekly, we see this big wick from last week, giant wick. And this week we're already down. And that on gold is about 16% on that pullback. And going back to Bitcoin again on the weekly chart, not only do we have, you know, these little double tops and double bottoms that are just, again, a little bit higher on the top, a little bit lower on the bottom, a little higher on the top, and here we have a little lower on the bottom. So we're waiting to see what this next move is. And again, I'll show you the CME gap in a minute. If we do see this run back up and it goes over that CME gap, then might be feeling a little bullish for Bitcoin. But if instead of closing that gap, Bitcoin drops lower, then we're in trouble. Then we're in trouble. We also have ETH had a huge sell-off here. And then just a reminder for those still say that I never showed lower prices, I take you back to some remnants of the bear market bottoms video and live stream that I did back in December. Yes, bear market bottoms was a live stream. You can check that out on my channel. And if you do, just scroll forward to about the 30-minute mark. The 30-minute mark on the bear market bottoms, and you will see all my fib lines that I made on that bear market bottom. Let's see where that is, right here. Bear market bottom, 1 month ago. Crypto bear market bottoms. That was a live stream. Just slide the little timer to about 30 minutes in, and that's when I start all of the analysis. And here's was ETH's, and ETH's was a 1,700 ETH. 1,700 ETH would be the bear market bottom. And I had bear market bottoms for XRP. I had it for Doge. I had it for Bitcoin. I had it for XRP. And I had it for, we did Pengu and Pepe and Solana. maybe another one, I don't remember, but I did show bear market bottoms. Now, one of them that was interesting was Litecoin, because Litecoin's bear market bottom was $50 and we're at 59 already. So Litecoin is looking weak compared to where it was trading in October after the October 10th flash crash, because that's what I was using as a to hit my fib lines. So so there's that as well. So I wanted to cover that. Now, let's get to the news of the day, or at least what others are saying, right? So here's Ted Pillows. Bitcoin has a CME gap to 84.5. 84.5. Most CME gaps fill within a week. Keep your eye on this. And again, that will be 84,500, which is, yeah, that's not actually correct. I think he's a little off on that. 84.5, right? Oh, that might have been the top, right near the end of January, or the end of Friday when it closed. It was up there, right around 84, 84.5, right in that range right there. That's where Friday closed. So, and now we have a gap because it opened on Monday down here at 75. So that's a big gap. Now we did have Bitcoin again early this morning drop down to 74.6. The biggest news here is MicroStrategy's average price of all of its Bitcoin is here, 76,000. That is the average price of all the Bitcoin that MicroStrategy has bought since 2019. Since 2019, they've been buying all this Bitcoin, and guess what? The price did drop below their average price. Now, what does that mean for Strategy B, MicroStrategy? It just means their stock is going to go down, as it has been, but it doesn't mean that they're liquidated. There's no automatic liquidation if they're underwater on all of their Bitcoin. Michael Saylor just talks about the future. It's going to $1 million. He's not worried about it. Of course, I think that's kind of hopium too. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see CZ and Binance behind some of this push down on Bitcoin's price, because maybe they're after, this is my tinfoil hat, right? Maybe they're after Michael Saylor, just like they went after Dogecoin and they went after Sam Bankman-Fried. Now they're going after Michael Saylor. Because, Michael Saylor is not a crypto guy, right? He's really not a crypto guy, because cryptocurrency is meant to be used, right? Not just hoarded. And particularly if you're supporting the banks and the governments and the institutions all also hodling Bitcoin, that's not what cryptocurrency is supposed to be about, which is why I have faith in Dogecoin instead of Bitcoin. People ask me all the time, why don't you just cover Bitcoin? I say, Bitcoin is centralized now. Bitcoin's totally centralized. And the market makers and exchanges are actually still in control. Where Dogecoin mostly follows Bitcoin, but we have more control over Dogecoin. People complain, all these new coins that are minted. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's actually good for Dogecoin to have that. Keeps Dogecoin decentralized. Well, but all the miners, they hold so much. They get the new, but they're so much old, right? There's so much old, 160 billion coins out there that aren't all held by miners. So there's no control. And Dogecoin is completely decentralized. There's a crap ton of Doge sitting on exchanges held by you guys who buy Dogecoin on an exchange, and you leave it there. I don't know why you do that. Maybe it's just easier. I'll just leave it there. And then they use your coins to short the market. But that's another story for another time. And then we got this guy, Raul Paul, talking about the business cycle, and he's talking about global liquidity, and it's not happening. We had no banana zone, right? Skipped all that. That didn't happen. Super cycle. Do you guys believe in super cycles? I mean, look at this chart. This does not look like a super cycle to me. This is not a super cycle. In a super cycle, you would not have this 39, 40% drawdown. That's not a super cycle. That's the start of a bear market. In my zone. Yeah, right, Ryan? The banana zone. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that banana zone thing? No, we didn't get that. So we got that guy. And then we got Ash Crypto saying the money rotation from gold into Bitcoin will be insane, just like 2020. Gold market hit a top, gold retraced, Bitcoin went up. Now, there's no direct correlation. In other words, nobody can prove that money sold from gold actually went into buying Bitcoin. This could be more of a circumstance, right? This is a circumstance of time. 2020, if you recall, we were in COVID, right? We had the pandemic going on. And guess what? The government was giving out stimmy checks, right? The government was giving out free money. So, of course, a bunch went into Bitcoin. Free money. That's what that was. Free money. We don't have that now. Now, Trump keeps talking about it. Trump talks about a lot of things, blah, 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 blah. But that doesn't make it happen. So no, Ash, sorry. There's not going to be money rotating from gold into Bitcoin right now. There might be some, but not enough to like make this happen, in my humble opinion. Then we got this guy, Tom Lee, right? Tom Lee is facing the possibility of one of the largest investment losses on record after aggressively buying ETH at the $4,000 level. I don't know what Bitmine's average price is for all of the ETH that they accumulated, but I'm guessing it's higher than the current price. I'm guessing it's much higher, and I'm going to look for that and see what that actually is. But I'm like, this guy, man. But he also thought midway through the 4-year cycle that he was going to catch ETH on a big run last fall, ETH to $10,000, and he was going to catch that run. Well, that didn't happen after October 10th. So we know Tom Lee was not behind October 10th. He wanted to keep prices going up. And he's, personally, he's probably okay, but his company is hurting pretty bad. Dogecoin. Dogecoin is now at 20, extreme fear. As I showed on this morning's video as well, Dogecoin is back to extreme fear. We were neutral by about January 6th or so. So just a few weeks ago, we were neutral, and now we're back. Not just a fear, but extreme fear again. The sentiment's bad out there. We don't know what's going to happen. So what is Dogecoin's next move? We're going to talk about that. We can look at Trader Allen, right? He's got a bunch of charts, right? First one is a bullish divergence. If we look at the RSI, it's a 4-hour chart, short time frame. For 2.5 days, the RSI is higher and the price is lower. That is bullish divergence, meaning it's stronger at a lower price. It's going to bounce back up. Is that necessarily true? Well, it did a little bit, because when he posted this, Doge was at about 10 cents early this morning, and now it's up to 10.8. So he is partially correct there. From that low we had down here, Dogecoin actually did come up. So a little bump on a short time frame, So yeah, Trader Allen was correct here. So we had a little bump up to 10.8. We zoom out though, and we start to look at the MACD, right? The MACD, a bullish crossover. Oh, this is also 4-hour. Yeah, he was doing this early this morning. So he was looking at all of these when Doge was down at its low early in the morning. And yeah, we broke out of that as well on the MACD. But again, it's a short time frame. Bitcoin Census was looking at the same thing and looking at a pivot high of 12.7, and we actually made 12.8. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. No, we made 10.8. He said what? Yeah, 12.7. Oh, on a higher time frame. I wonder what time frame he's on. That looks like a daily. Yeah, that's a daily. So yeah, it'd be pivot up to here to 12.7. So we got a ways to go to get up there. And finally, another chart by our friend Trader Allen, looking at Doge on an ascending triangle, we could have bounces with higher lows. So, and the rest of these are just wicks on the 4-hour chart. These are all wicks. So we go back to the 4-hour chart. And we see all these wicks happening up and down, up and down. So he's actually right. We ended up breaking out of this short-term downward wedge for Doge. I still think Doge is just going to basically follow Bitcoin because Doge doesn't have any specific news about it yet. We're now in February. Where's Doge OS? Don't know. Where's X money? Don't know. So we have all this stuff that's just out there and we're waiting. And as we wait, we think about how much we have in crypto. A financial advisor, and this is a financial advisor today, not last year, because last year they would have said no crypto. But now, because the Trump presidency is pro-crypto, right? There's this whole thing about the Clarity Act and the Genius Act, and we're getting these, from Bank of America to JP Morgan and others who are advising holdings in crypto. So no more than 10% of your net worth should be in crypto, says a financial advisor, where not me, because I'm a little bit, I do have some stocks. 100% in crypto. Is anybody here 100% in crypto in your finances? 100% in crypto. That's nothing in stocks, all crypto. That is, that's a bold move. Yeah, not only 100% crypto, but 100% Dogecoin. Ryan, hey, what's your 0.1? What's your 0.1% in? But yeah, Mars, Jason, 100%. Ryan, Roundup, 100%. Sonic, 100%. Doge. Yep. Well, you're close, right? Jay's got more stocks, but is she starting to sell stocks and buy crypto? Mario, 100%. Casper, 100%. Yeah, we got a lot. Who are 100% crypto. Now, I hold Carnival Cruise Lines I told you about. Remember last year when I was posting all those Dogecoin cruise things, right? I actually bought Carnival Cruise and it went up 8% today. So I'm on the cruise bandwagon and I bought Carnival Cruise Lines. And Megal is back to $1.18. So I'm even on the Megal. So, but yeah, that's, yeah. How are we feeling? I mean, we're in it, right? And we know what Doge can do. We just have to wait it out. Patience, right? Patience. Meanwhile, I got the pinger on here. There hasn't been a lot going on in the pinger lately. A lot of the Bitcoin futures actually got wiped out with this last big drop. So that sort of refreshes the whole leverage trading. But they'll just come back. I have 3,000 Megal. I got 3,000 Megal I just bought. And that was last Thursday, I think, $1.18. And now it's back to $1.18 again today. It was up to $1.25. I was saying, all right, let's go. And it came back to $1.18 today. 90% Doge, 5% Pepe, and 5% Sheeb. Just still holding on to that Sheeb. I do have a little bit of Sheeb as well. So I do have a little bit of Sheeb. So that's what's going on in the markets right now, guys. Let's do some Q&A. Q&A. For those that missed it, we do have this open CME gap on Bitcoin. As Ted Pillow says, most CME gaps are filled within a week, and it is higher than the current price, up to 84,000. So we're going to watch if Bitcoin closes the gap, or is it going to be too weak, and from 78, it's going to drop even lower. This white line here is at $76,000 on the Bitcoin chart, which is MicroStrategy's break even on all the crypto that they've been buying over the past 5 years. That's their average price right there. So if your average is lower than that, like mine is, you're doing better than MicroStrategy, because they were buying up over 100K. They were still buying, and it was just like, oh. So RIPS. I don't know what RIPS is, big dog. Sounds like a token. What do I think about the Warsh nomination? Ken Warsh seems like he changed his mind about interest rates over the last few years, because he used to be sort of against like lowering interest rates when it could cause higher inflation. He now thinks there are other drivers to inflation other than just the lowered interest rates. So he now supports lower interest rates. This was why Trump nominated him. Now, is he going to pass the committee that needs to approve him? That's a big question, because right now the politics are really, really deep, and they can't afford for any of the Republicans to flip on approving Warsh. So we'll see how that goes. And I don't know exactly when they start doing that, but that's coming. They're going to hear all about that. And they're going to ask about his previous views versus his new views. And it's going to be a big political show. Awesome, isn't it? Awesome. 1% evil. Anthony, smiling, happy for selling diamond Doges you got for free. Never regretted it. That's okay. You do what you do. You do what you do. Can Doge drop to 8 cents? Yep. If Bitcoin goes to 69K, we could see Doge below 9 cents. Yes, we could. So can we look at Bitcoin? And you're saying 69K, right? 69. So that would be from here, let's call it 12 cents. If Dogecoin did the same 12-cent drop, where would it be? 12%. 12% gets it to, oh, 9.5. That'd be 9.5 cents. Pro. That same 12% pullback, if Doge equals Bitcoin, it'd be 9.5 cents, which is a key number because that's the drop that we had on December 31st, and also the drop we had, at least on Binance, back on October 10th. So 9.5 would make a lot of sense. That is strong support at 9.5 cents. But we also know that when there are big red days, Dogecoin drops harder than Bitcoin. So yes, we could see back into the 8s, and that would be about 18% from here. 18% drop, and we would back in below 9 cents in the 8s. Now, I would think just like we just hit 10%, 10 cents, and then the dip went to 9.9, that we would do the same thing down at 9 cents. We would see dips down to 8.9. That's how Dogecoin typically trades, around those cent marks. Is you get little dips just below. Just below that. We just had a ping. I'm guessing it's a short, a new short that just got taken out. Probably on XRP would be my guess. That seems to be. Let's see. There's some Bitcoins. Where's the ping? Where's the ping? Where's the ping? I don't see the one that pinged. Bitcoin was at $59,000 of a short. But there's some, yeah, there's some shorts. The brand new trades already getting wiped out. Arcade, I like your February price prediction video. Missed the dip, but do you think we'll hit sub 10 cent Doge again? Yeah, we just did this morning, $9.99. And I think it'll happen again. The silver flash crash was worse than crypto. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, right? Wasn't it? End of last week. Pretty crazy. Hey, Matt, how are you? What I'm learning now is that there are times when minimizing my risk is more important than maximizing my gain. You're right. We're in this stage now where, I mean, I've been talking bear market. I sold some on December 31st. I was hoping for prices a little bit higher, but I ended up dropping Pengu, dropping Pepe. It was like, and part of it was for tax loss harvesting, just accepting the L, right? Took the L and then reduces my tax liability from 2025 a bit. And that money's just sitting there. I haven't put that back into anything yet because I'm not buying right now. I don't trust the market. I'm worried it'll be another Powell saying what Trump's want to hear until he gets the position, and then he's in. Maybe there's some of that. What's the news on X money? Yeah, I showed it at the end of my video this morning, my February price prediction video. Nada, nothing on X money. Launched internally doesn't mean anything to me. I can't see it, so it doesn't exist. I don't care what Elon says. Launched internally. That's a chicken shit way out of being criticized for X money launching in 2025. It did not. Internally doesn't matter. That means it's still under beta test. That's not launched. Sorry, Elon, you lose on this one. Show me the X money, right? Show me the X money. Hit the thumbs up, people. Thank you. Anthony, I've not bought a single crypto since early December. Proved to be a smart decision. Me too. Exactly. Rumors of GameStop buying eBay. Can GameStop afford eBay? eBay's still big. GameStop stock was going up today. It had a nice run. It was up 8%. I did see that, but I didn't hear about the eBay thing. A little bit of Pepe, Bonk, Sui, and Bitcoin. Yeah, Pepe, Bonk, and Sui are all down. Can't believe Sui has dropped as much as it is for being a good project, but that's bear market for you. It doesn't matter. I know, I do that every day. I miss some days every now and then because I forget, but still stacking crow coins. And you know, when the price is down, low roller, you get more coins. When you get that little silver, you get that little spinning silver thing, you get more coins when the price is down than last fall when it was up. When it was at 30 cents, you weren't getting as many. But now that it's back down to 9, it's like, or 8 now, it's you get more. You talked about round tripping it. I believe we are close. Yeah, we're round tripping, all right. We are round tripping, Eric. And as I've said, and as I've shown, and one of the things I did print on my X account, if you don't follow me on X, I am at KrissPax. If you don't follow me on X, you should. because when I'm not here on YouTube, I'm there. We had pho the other night. Oh, so good. A Vietnamese restaurant had this pho. Oh, the steak was so good. Anyway, a little side food thing. That was a little bit ago that I printed that. And that was my bear market. When did I post that? There it is right there. January 28th. So that was this. So this is my prediction for Dogecoin. God, it almost hit that exactly. I did not check that. It almost hit that exactly on the fractal. But this fractal goes through the summer and then into October, September, October, when I think we're going to start going back up. So I'm going to be buying on these dips through the summer. That's my plan. So let me see which chart was that one. I think it was OKX. I think this was the OKX chart. Yeah, we're a little ahead of target. These gray lines are my fractal. So we're actually a little lower. I was 11 cent about in another week or so. So yeah, Doge has already dipped below my fractal of the Doge trading. Is that right? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, that's what I posted. Might have to move the fractal a bit. No, you're not supposed to do that, Kriss. What? I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. But that means by June, we're buying Doge down at like 8.9 cents. Yeah, this was the other one before I. Anyway, I'll keep tabs on this. It's my fractal for Doge. But hey, Doge is in the green today, up 3.8%. That's pretty good. You think mid to 8s to high? You called the bottom 9.5. We could touch it again. I heard silver people say buy the dip. Right. We don't know what silver is going to do. Don't know. Have always been negative on Doge despite Kriss being bullish on it many months back. I really don't see any future with it. X money is hopium. We'll see. 1 cent. Anthony. Hey, Way is back. Oh, you're back on the ADA. You're back on ADA again. Didn't you learn Cardano last time? Yeah, we covered the similar prices earlier, low roller. Silver is actually $80 now with Bitcoin at 78K. But I did cover that already. It's all dead until it's not. One more bull cycle before Trump leaves. And then we don't know what comes after. Oh, is this you again? I thought you learned already. It's all about the coin count. Yes, Compo. Yeah, the XRP community is, I think they're a little shell-shocked right now that XRP went down to $1.50 already. Nobody was predicting that. So it's not just Doge. It's not just Doge. Yeah, everybody should be on crypto.com. If you're not, I have a link in the description below to join crypto.com and earn free diamonds like Low Roller is saying here. Earn your free diamonds. Yeah, it takes a little while, but it's free crow. Free crow. Mm-mm. Oh, Charlotte, people do like to complain. That's what they do, particularly when their portfolio is down. They want to complain and they want to find somebody to blame. So then it's hashtag blame Kriss again. Hashtag blame Kriss. Because it's all my fault. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I know we still have spring and summer to go. That's what my fractal was about. Exactly. You want to compare Doge to Pepe? You're going to lose that battle too. Going to lose that battle too. Hey, did you hear the latest on Tron there, Anthony, and Justin's son and his ex-girlfriend who's now calling him out on all of the manipulation he's been doing? She says she's got the proof. She's got the proof. Doge this way. The foe was at Somerville, Assembly Row. It's called An Tan. An Tan. It's a Vietnamese restaurant in Somerville at Assembly Row. So good. So good. There's going to be more crow added to the circulation supply. Yes, it's inflationary as well. They keep doing that. Yeah, Polkadot, I never invested in. I never liked that project. There's nothing going on with it. It's just traded like any other crypto. It's got nothing going on for it. Tried to get a buy yesterday under 10. You may have another opportunity, Eric. You may. Well, we're waiting for Doge OS, and we're going to see what kind of utility that really is. I think it's going to end up being a bunch of games and a non-coin transferring over from Solana to Doge, which is just another meme token launchpad, which I'm not a fan of. Is that really utility for Doge? If you're launching a bunch of scam meme tokens, well, they might not all be scam, but there's just going to be, we don't need any more of that. I really don't think so. Now, CoinLedger's been around for a number of years, DB. I'm just not attaching my wallet to anything. I'm not taking that risk. They say you just attach your wallet and then they do everything for you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. No, thank you. I'm not attaching my wallets to anything. I use spreadsheets. And I just add it all up myself. I got my buy price, I got my sell price, I got the difference, I add them all up. I've got my net profit. That goes on my Schedule D. Well, it goes on the, I forget what the form is first, that then feeds into the Schedule D. But yeah, I ain't doing that, attaching my wallets to some website. No, thank you. Historically, silver falls after this peak without much of a rally. Gold is safer, 50-50 up or down from here. Yeah, we talked before about silver before this dip, that when silver drops after a big run, it drops hard. And we looked at it in history all the way back to like 1980 when it went on a big run and it dropped all the way back down. So yeah, I wouldn't be touching silver right now. Scary. If Crowcoin hits several dollars, it's worth a lot of money. Right? Exactly. And that's why I'm just doing it. Well, Tron itself isn't a stable coin. He has a separate stable coin. Most people just use USDT on the Tron network, and you have to use Tron for gas, right, to be able to trade. So that's what Justin has done. But he manipulates the hell out of markets. Right from the start, when I started in crypto and I saw Tron and I looked up him I was like, yeah, I don't trust this guy. I'm not buying Tron now. If I bought Tron back then, I could have made a lot of money off it, but nope, not doing it. I think the silver thing happened in 1979, changed margin laws. Yep. Yeah, that's correct. That's what and I just saw it from the chart. I don't know why. I didn't know that this was behind it. Makes sense, though. Makes sense. Well, thoughts on Pepe? Well, Pepe has no utility, and they admit it. Their website says, yeah, Pepe has no utility. It's just a meme. It's just a meme. Has a great community. It'll probably go flying again when the next meme coin run happens. It's just not today. In fact, Pepe's in the 4s now, and it's about to drop into the 3s. It actually did this morning. It hit $3.99. Look at that. Pepe hit 3.99 this morning. Is that a good buy price? Probably. That's a good buy price. That is a price that Pepe hasn't seen since $3.99, February 2024. February 2024. A little bit at the end of 2025 that just happened. We're back down to that level. Before that, you got to go all the way back to February 2024. Of course, last week on the live, we looked at others that haven't seen this price since 2020, like VeChain. But VeChain hasn't seen this price since June of 2020 for VeChain. That means all this trading for 5.5 years. Anybody who bought VeChain in the last 5.5 years, you're in the red. And there's a lot of alts like that, just in the red. Dogecoin is not one of those. So somebody wants to yell about Doge. It's like there's a lot of other alts. In fact, most alts are worse off than Dogecoin. So stop your complaining about Doge. Doge is holding up pretty well. It's actually outperformed ETH and Bitcoin in January, which I showed on my video this morning. Yes, Dogecoin has outperformed Bitcoin and ETH. So maybe you should be complaining about the Bitcoin and ETH prices and not Doge. Just a thought. Maybe. Maybe. Anthony is extra Anthony today. Always good. Have been consistent. Yep. I don't know what a Bitcoin Hyper L2 is, Eric. Don't know what that is. I know it's been a surprise. Nobody was predicting Bitcoin. Nobody was predicting the Boston Celtics would have the record that they have and be as good as they have. I think that says a lot about Jaylen Brown and how strong he is. Leading a team without Jason Tatum back into the playoffs. Yeah, I haven't seen Bull Run lately. Bull Run did post a comment on one of my videos recently. So still around. Still around. There are some people buying dips down at $9.99, Nino. And that was early this morning. And here on Saturday afternoon, we dipped down into the 9s. So, and that's what Doge does. It starts getting near one of those solid cent lines. It always dips a little bit below. So you set your limit orders to 9.95 and you might get some on a dip. Personally, I'm not buying because I'm still looking back at my overall fractal, and I think we'll be lower in the summer. But that's just me. I can tell you what I'm doing. You knew Brown was underrated. Yeah. I mean, he was overshadowed by Tatum all the time. Tatum was getting all the attention, but I mean, Brown was the MVP of the NBA Finals when the Celtics won the title a couple years ago. It was Brown who was the MVP. He's the one who led the team. Oh yeah, I'm used to the complaining, Will. I'm used to it. It's all right. It doesn't matter. I already won the crypto game, so now it's just following through on the rest. 9-cent Doge is aight. Aight. I like that. It's aight. I just showed you how low I think Dogecoin can go. I'm not a pro. Maybe I got lucky. I don't know. But I was a believer in Dogecoin. And I bought a lot of crap ton of Doge back in the summer of 2023 when Doge was trading at 5.75, 5.8, and even up to the low sixes. That's where I accumulated millions of Dogecoin. So I'm looking at that opportunity this summer again. Now, is that going to play out like that? Nothing's guaranteed. Will believes the same thing. He makes his own videos. The Crypto Prince here making his own videos, and he's on board with me. Like, see what happens this summer. But it's uncertain. Just because it's done that in the past, history doesn't always exactly repeat. But all these people on Twitter saying, the money rotation from gold into Bitcoin will be insane, and I'm like, will it? Will it really? And we got this guy talking about, the M2 money supply and global liquidity going up in 2026, and Bitcoin will follow. And I'm like, really? Will it? There's no guarantee that's going to happen. So I don't listen to these guys. I read them, I follow them as a point of reference, and so I can also use some of the stuff during my videos and live streams. But yeah, it's like, don't listen to, it's just like, and then you got guys like Ben Cowan. Remember Ben Cowan last summer? Remember him? Who was calling him Lord Cowan? Oh, was that Anthony? Really? Anthony, you were calling him Lord Cowan. Wrong. He was wrong too. He was so wrong. Lord Cowan. Remember that? Anthony, come on. You got to remember that. He was so wrong. And now he's trying to sound like he knew it all the time. And he's coming with all these various reasons why the price is what it is. And they're just like, yeah, too late. Too late, Ben. Wrong. But I admit it, I was wrong too. So was that Khan? He was more of the Lord Cohen. It could have been. I listen to the comment section on YouTube to make decisions. I know, right? I see all those comments and I'm just like, man, that's people who bought high and now they're in the red and they're looking for someone to blame. So they come onto my videos and they comment. I'm just like, yeah, no, I get it. We should buy Buttcoin on Solana. Buttcoin. Buttcoin. I know, him and his t-shirts. Goose, you're absolutely right. It's like, dude. And then he goes to these big parties where people are dressed up and he shows up in a t-shirt. It's like, dude, really? You and your stupid, dubious t-shirt. And it's just like, hey, but maybe that's his thing. I don't know. Exactly, Campo. I made my own bed and I'm going to lie in it. You're the one who presses the buy button, not me. Not me. Chris Lord. No, Will. No. Thank you, Nino. Appreciate it. I mean, everybody missed October. Everybody missed October. Nobody predicted what happened, because that was just a black swan event that just came from nowhere. That was crazy. So yeah, everybody missed that. The YouTube comment section is the wisdom of our generation. Yeah, right. Interesting things can happen. I was going to suggest Mr. Pax make a new intro. Yeah, I need some help with that. Tough taking financial advice from someone in a dirty shirt. Much easier for someone in a black backwards cap. The market cap. Hey, here it is. There you go. Now you'll believe everything I say. Right? Now you're going to believe everything I say. Hey, we're in the green today, up 4% for Doge. Bitcoin's only up 2%. Doge continues in 2026 to outperform Bitcoin. Now I'm the expert. Exactly. It's all in the hat. So yes, Dogecoin is outperforming Bitcoin in 2026. So stop complaining about Doge. Of course, it was down in 2025, much lower than Bitcoin was down. I get it. I know. Another move down and then rockets. It may take a while. The renowned crypto analyst, of course. We've seen Dogecoin go on big runs before, as I've said this many times, but it needs a catalyst to make it happen. It needs a big catalyst, and Doge can go on a run, and all the other memes and alts follow Dogecoin. So we're waiting for that. We're waiting for that big thing to happen with Dogecoin. And so we look for places to accumulate, and we wait and we be patient. That's how Dogecoin has been in the past. That's how I believe Dogecoin is going to be in the future. But none of this is financial advice. I just tell you what I'm doing. And I'm waiting for the summer to buy on deeper dips. Is that going to happen? Or is this dip here that we had this morning down to 999? Is that going to be it? And we're not going to see that again. I don't know. I've circled it. It's on my chart. We'll see what happens. I just think there's more stuff going on. Like I said earlier, I made this financial crisis video on Saturday because there's a lot of other stuff going on that just don't look good financially, economically, as we continue to print, and go deeper into debt as a country. United States is not good. And all this talk about crypto and the Genius Act and the Clarity Act and the Genius and the Clarity Act really have nothing to do with crypto. It's all about stable coins. That's all they care about, is their stable coins. And I've been calling that out since June when they first started doing the Genius Act. I was like, they don't care about crypto. They don't. Now, crypto being under the CFTC versus the SEC, that doesn't cause alts to all of a sudden start breaking out into alt season, like someone said on one of my posts. It's like, oh, the Clarity Act is going to cause a huge run in alts. Is it really? No, I don't think so. And also, Goose is correct. A stable coin also is not a cryptocurrency. Stable coin does not equal cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrencies are independent of fiat money. Stable coins follow the US dollar. That's not a cryptocurrency. I know, Anthony, you're right. Welcome to October 10th and the flash crash and how it totally changed the market from bull to bear. I've said this a million times since October. Anthony, come on. Don't try and sound so cute here. We saw it happen. We were live on October 10th when it was happening. If you remember, you might have been here too. So don't talk to me about this 30-cent down to 10-cent shit, because you know exactly why it happened. And nobody predicted it. And I will continue to talk about catalysts for Doge because that's how Dogecoin trades all the way back to 2020. Because I've been watching Doge since 2020. Anyway, you just happened to say something that triggered me. So it's all good though, right? Just stop saying that about me, because I've got it 90% right. The October 10th thing, no one saw coming. That was a flash crash. Totally manipulated by Binance and Wintermute. I covered it on October 12th. I did a detailed look at the wallets and what was happening. I explained it all. But nobody remembers that, right? Where I'm figuring it out. And then I wanted to see confirmation that Bitcoin wasn't going to immediately recover with the 50-week moving average. And it broke below it. And I said, okay, bear market, here we are. That was end of October. I won't guess the bottom this time. I'm starting to DCA now. 2028 in the windshield. Stablecoin is susceptible to inflation. Exactly. It's backed by the US dollar. Yeah, Anthony triggered me there a little bit. Yes, I was online with you in the flash crash. I remember you said, sorry, guys. Yeah. That was live. That was live. Hey, DJ, how are you? Welcome. Welcome. I didn't see that about a short position on silver, but it doesn't surprise me that was going on. Doesn't surprise me. Are we officially in a bear market? Masood asks, are we officially in a bear market? Now, I've called us being in a bear market since the end of October, and nobody believed me then. Nobody believed me, but I wasn't buying anything. And that's when Doge had recovered back up to 14, 15 cents, remember? And now we're at 10 cents and I'm still not buying. So to me, KrissPax is officially in a bear market. There is really no official, because there's always some moon boys out there, right, who will never admit we're in a bear market and keep saying this is all going to turn around. The whole gold into Bitcoin rotation and super cycles and extended cycles and M2 money supply and business cycle and all these other reasons why people think that the crypto is going to go back up this spring. And I'm like, yeah, no. There's too much going on in the world economically, geopolitically, that keeps the market from turning back around. So that's where I am. It doesn't sell views. People don't come flocking to my channel because I'm talking about financial crisis, right? That doesn't get the views. The views are all the Moon Boy channels, right? I can't do that. I can't do that. Hey, Alex, anything new about Doge could happen, or are we waiting? Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Sorry you weren't here earlier, but you're here now. We wait for these catalysts to happen with Doge. I don't know if Doge OS is going to be a thing or not that's going to cause Dogecoin to go up in price. It does give Doge more utility for those that always complain Doge has no utility. But I am kind of scared that the utility it actually brings isn't going to be great. I think the people who are talking about all these great things on Doge that are being built on the beta of Doge OS, I think it's just fun and games. And it's just, is that really utility? I don't know. So And then there's X money. That's the big one I've been talking about for over a year now is X money. Linda Yaccarino, when she was CEO of X, was saying, yep, 2025, it's going to launch. But then they made partnerships with Visa, and I'm just like, that's not good. You had shorts running the day before October 10th. Will admits it too. We are in a bear market. This is all going to turn around one day, Ryan. Yes. The Duchess Studios, we are called now. I was waiting to see what the new name was. The Duchess Studios. What's a bear market? Have you seen your portfolio? Have you seen your portfolio? I like it because you're real. Thank you. Right. Your channel is taking a hit too because you're not a moon boy. Exactly. If all you did was XRP moon boy videos day after day, you'd get a lot more views and a lot more subs. It's not happening. No, the ETFs aren't negative for Doge. This is nobody buying them. They will start buying ETFs, but that's only when Dogecoin starts mooning in price, because that's Dogecoin. Here's the latest on the ETFs. Nada. January 30th, 29th, 28th, 27th. There was a little bit of inflows on the 26th. Before that, nada. And then some outflows on the 20th. And before that, nada. Nobody's buying. Not while Doge is going down. So, but guaranteed, when Dogecoin starts going on a run, you're going to see inflows into these ETFs. And it's not going to happen until then. I don't know how XRP is getting so many. Yeah, somewhere here I can go to, here's XRP's list right here. And you'll see XRP, their ETF, look, it's millions of dollars into the XRP ETFs, which launched the same time Doge's did. And you're getting millions of dollars every day. Now, there was a 92 million outflow last Thursday. Ouch. That took out all the inflows for weeks. But that's just more of proof that XRP is in bed with the banks and the governments and the institutions. And so it gets more ETF buying, which is why, another reason why I don't like XRP. No offense, Will, but that's just me. And I've been saying that. Christian, you had to take a break from the crypto market. Yeah. 500 ounces of silver is needed for one Tomahawk missile. That's interesting. Anthony, a lot of people believe in the long term. And so just buy and hold. They don't play the swing trade game, right? Just buy and hold. Most times, that may be the right thing to do. Sell, minimize the loss, and then buy in at a lower price. And maybe I'll be correct on that for Pepe and Pengu if I decide to buy back in on those. I was doing that for tax loss harvesting at the end of last year. But it'd be really hard to sell Doge if it hits 11 cents again. Sell Doge at 11 cents. And then you're just going to be on pins and needles wondering, oh my God, did I make a mistake? What if Doge keeps going up and I sold, right? All that stuff is going to play in. Is it worth it? I'd rather I bought when I bought, right? I'll buy more on dips when they happen. I'm not going to get all anxious and stressed out because I sold my Doge thinking it'll go back down. What if it doesn't? We don't know. And a lot of it is timing. Christian is correct. A lot of it is timing. Many people first got into Doge back in the fall of 2024. Trump had just won the presidency. We had Elon and the whole Doge thing, Department of Government Efficiency. Doge was skyrocketing, huge volume, and a lot of people bought Doge at 30, 40 cents. I get it. And some of you have admitted, as Doge has been going down, you've been buying on dips, lowering your average, because you don't know when the bottom is going to happen. And we were still thinking October, up until October 10th. So, yeah. When the AI bubble bursts, though, yeah, I don't think the AI bubble is, it's not really a bubble. I don't think so. I mean, the ETF certainly helped Bitcoin. There's no doubt. Bitcoin hit a new all-time high back in early 2024 before the halving. It had never done that before. And that was based on these ETFs. So it worked for Bitcoin. Doge is just going to wait until Doge starts skyrocketing. And then we will see inflows into the ETFs. Adding gambling to proof of work is not good. Yeah, that's just, I mean, don't we have enough gambling already? All these poly market things and Kalshi and the prediction markets now that Robinhood is doing and Coinbase is getting into. And it's like, do we really need all that? Isn't just buying crypto enough gambling? Hey, gamble, right? Says, yeah. Oh. Oh, there's a ton of silver that goes into like photovoltaic. Silver is used for tons of things. I just leave the price of Doge on the chart while I'm live. Occasionally I go back to other news and look at other coins, but always just come right back. You sold your Bitcoin at 90, Nick. Was a good move. Remember when I bought Bitcoin at 125 on Robinhood, $10 worth? I'm so down on that. Doesn't matter. It was for fun. It was $10. But I had the highest price Bitcoin for a while. It was like for August. Yeah, for 2 months, I had the highest price Bitcoin. That was fun. $10. That $10 is now worth what? Six and a half. Me too, DJ. Got into Doge long time ago, can sell now and still profit. Everybody, please like, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Appreciate that. Kronos, what's up? As the price of Doge goes down, it's harder for it to go up percentage-wise. That is true, percentage-wise. But we know in a green market, Doge will outperform most other cryptos. AI is a bubble in a sense. They're not going to be building data centers like this for much longer. No revenue yet. Yep, it's early. It's all early. And I don't get why like these companies make all these announcements of investing more and more and more into AI and the stock price goes up. I'm like, remember Facebook and the whole metaverse thing? Meta's stock price actually went down after it was found out that what Zuckerberg was doing was it's just not happening. The metaverse. Stocks are overvalued. Many of them are. But at the same time, The dollar is down because of inflation. They just keep printing more money. So stock prices have to go up to just keep pace with inflation. When you escalate a dollar out in the future, it gets higher and higher and higher. $3, $7, $11, $16, $22, right? Every year. You're losing your buying power. So your investments have to keep going up by at least that much just to stay even. Instead, we got them going down. That makes it worse. Always, Ryan. Always. If only they gave prizes for the most overpriced buy. But hey, it was fun for a couple months. I had the highest because I bought it market price on Robinhood. And it went up to 126,000, even though the price only went to 125 on every other exchange. I got it for 126. I was special. I was special. Alex Sheep, there's nothing going on with Sheep. I think most of the crypto world knows Sheep is a joke. There's nothing happening. They made all that stuff up. Sheeparium. I mean, come on, really? And all the burning they're doing of sheep. You burn 1 million sheep. What is that? $9? $8 even? Probably less now with sheep's price down so much. No. Yep. Current business climate, uncertainties, possible war, U.S. government closure, tariffs. Exactly. And then real estate. Real estate prices in the most sensitive areas are going down. I mean, Florida real estate is dumping. We've got areas of North Carolina and Tennessee where all these new developments were being made. You've got like blocks and blocks of new houses that are just vacant. So what's going to happen with the real estate market? That could crash. It could be 2008 all over again. It'll be different though. But again, it's going to be, well, I mean, last week we had our first bank closure of 2026, some bank in Chicago. Some bank in Chicago already went under. We have our first one of 2026. Chuck's in the car. Welcome. You bought your BTC at 60 and rode it up to 90 or up to 125 and back to 90. Yeah, I bought it 28K. That's where my Bitcoin is. It's about 28K. I'm just holding. You're not going to get rich mowing lawns, but you will be making some money. So there's something to do with that. If you're just sitting around, bored, nothing to do, if you're making money, you're making money, but you're not going to get rich. Wish you bought more Doge, don't we all? I was making fun of the whole TikTok thing in the summer of 2020 when at the start of it, Doge was at 0.0025, a quarter of a penny. And it went up almost to half a penny and then dropped back down to like 0.003, like I thought it would. I didn't hold any then. But if I had bought at 0.003, nope, I didn't. Yeah, we all have those stories, Nick. Now, I wasn't aware of Bitcoin when it was 1,000. I was aware of Bitcoin when it was 18K in early 2018, and it was going down in price. And I was like, yeah, I'm not buying this shit. Bitcoin was already overhyped at the end of 2017 up to 20,000, but I didn't hear about it until the beginning of 2018. But yeah, no mortgage, no rent, no debt. That's how I am too. And it's not bad. Not a bad feeling. Trump says we're close to a solution to end the shutdown. Well, Mike Johnson of the House, I mean, that's where it all is right now. I thought Schumer in the Senate already passed it. And that House is crazy. There's just a lot of those reps do not support Trump. Yep, way too many Shiba Inus. I know, right? I love that last part, Johnny, the concepts of a healthcare plan. He's been talking about these concepts for a year and a half. It's like, well, what else you got? It's a concept. He made it up. He's got nothing. Hey, regions. Yeah, we covered that earlier. Yeah, I think the summer, it's just going to be too weak. As Johnny says, we're going down, baby. Going down. Did the 1010 event change Elon's thoughts about X money, launching X money? That's interesting. I hadn't heard that, Matt. Well, if the 1010 thing was really all about crypto, because it was a manipulated crypto event, and there's no crypto on X money when X money launches, then it shouldn't have had any effect on it. It shouldn't have mattered. Anthony, I agree. I don't think it's just the big banks, though. I think it's the big old established crypto guys like Justin Sun and CZ that are out to get Saylor. I think there's something going on there. Just like CZ took out Dogecoin and Luna, CZ took out FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried. That was all CZ, in my opinion. I just, put the little dots together. Because if you remember, November 2022 was all about that FTT token. And CZ had a crap ton of it, and he dumped it and continued to dump it. And he made FTX go bankrupt. He did the same thing with Luna and that Terra algorithmic stablecoin. He had a ton of it, and he started dumping it. It depegged. Dogecoin tried to save Terra by minting a crap ton of new Luna tokens, which was crashing the Luna price. Remember that? That was all CZ. He was behind all of that. So he's out of jail now, and he could be going after Michael Saylor. That is interesting. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy in Boston. Oh. You've been getting notifications of TikTok people leaving TikTok. Interesting. They're all leaving TikTok. You love the concepts. I have a concept. SpaceX, not OpenAI. It's XAI. Johnny, it's XAI, not OpenAI. Yeah, and it's not going to be merged with Tesla. Yeah, I said that last week. SpaceX and XAI. Because what's going to happen, right? Elon's looking at putting data centers up in space. So having SpaceX and XAI merged makes sense. space centers in space or data centers in space. Of course, that's what Trump always does, Anthony. That's how Trump has lived his whole life, particularly in real estate development. Goons and clowns, exactly. Why not do the same in the White House? I think the crew he has now is better than what he had in his first term. Because in the second term, he kind of knew what he had to focus on and where he needed the help. He didn't know the first term. Exactly, Goose. Data centers in space. Yep. Buy a house for cash. Nothing better. You put in an offer and you lowball it, all cash, no contingencies. That gets the seller saying, should I take this lower offer? It works. I tell you, it works. You come in with a low offer, all cash, no contingencies. And then there's another game you can play too, is you don't have a realtor working for you. No, you contact the selling retail directly, the selling realtor directly. You just call them up directly and say you want a showing, and they will ask you, are you represented by a realtor? You say, no. Do you have dual agency? And when they say yes, that means the house seller doesn't have to pay as much in realtor fees. Another bonus. All cash, low offer, no contingencies, and you don't have your own realtor. I tell you, it works. It works. But hey, what do I know? Rent. Yeah. You get nothing for rent. If you buy a house all cash, all you're paying for is your taxes, right? Your property taxes and your insurance. That's it. And you have to pay your own upkeep and maintenance. But how much does a landlord really do for you? Yeah, if your hot water heater went out, right, the landlord is responsible for replacing the hot water heater. Okay, great. That's not a big price to pay, though, in a house. Overall, if you're saving so much money every year. Because owning a house, if you're paying cash on a year-to-year basis, is much, much cheaper than paying rent by more than half. Yeah, I should keep this hat on, right, Goose? Should keep my black hat on. Yeah, Johnny, I imagine your mind was thinking XAI, but your hands typed OpenAI. So Twitter X is part of XAI. I didn't know that. He merged his loan and had XAI buy them. I did not know that, Johnny. I thought X was still its own independent thing. If X eventually starts using digital currency, which big companies will follow next? Yes. That's the key. Is if X payments, X cash, X money, whatever, goes digital and not a stable coin, not a stupid stable coin, then could it start? Yeah. If people didn't write that down, they can always come back to the, boy, how far are we into this? An hour and a half into the live stream. KrissPax dropping truth bombs about how to buy a house with cash. You bought yours directly from the landlord you are renting from. Cool. Only $65K for a 900 square foot house. And now those houses are hundreds of thousands of dollars. You did good. You did good. You don't have any home insurance, and you can do that if you don't have a mortgage. If you do have a mortgage, the banks make you buy the insurance because it's not your house, it's the bank's house. You're kind of renting from the bank. You just fix everything yourself if it gets damaged in a hurricane. Yeah, that's a good buy. Holy F, right? That's pretty good. You want to get a shirt, XAI and Grok? I like those X hats, but I already have a black hat now. My Robinhood market cap hat. I don't need another one, but I did like them. Black hat till we go up. I just took the hat off for a week. Now I got to put it back. XRP. Yeah. I forgot what I predicted XRP bear market bottom. Do I still have that on here? Yeah, there it is. Bear market bottom was $1.20. $1.20 for XRP. It was my bear market bottom price. $1.20 this summer. Take cover, the truth bombs, they're coming. It praises for 225. Yep. Not bad. Not bad. Now your property taxes have gone up quite a bit since then. Property tax increases in Florida has been more than the house price increases. Yeah, studying doesn't really get you far, unfortunately, R50. And I don't know the best way to explain it. I just followed the 4-year cycle. Now, is that 4-year cycle really going to continue this time? I'm betting on it. That's why I'm waiting for the summer. It's on the cycles. I don't get into all like the blockchain technology and all the utility stuff. I mean, you've got these great projects which have great utility, and they're falling harder than Dogecoin in price. And they've got real world. There's a real world asset, and it's falling harder than Dogecoin. So the whole utility angle, nah, I don't buy it. It doesn't matter. Hang it on the light above the fireplace for a higher market cap. That's good, Gus. That's good. Easiest way to get a house, marry a rich girl who already has a house. Hey, it's the bare bottoms, baby. We were having fun with it. The bare bottoms. We were looking for them in that live stream. The bare bottoms. Hey, you're welcome. Yeah. $1.20 sounds about right. That's what I got. Yeah, and you know it's a bear market. I'm giving out truth bombs and there's 90 people in the chat. And it's just like, It is what it is. And you will see, let's say next fall, Dogecoin's price starts going on a big run. There won't be 90 people. There'll be 290, 390, 490. It's all market sentiment that drives YouTube views in crypto. Now I could just drop crypto altogether and start making videos of completely something else, but I'm not going to do that. I like doing this. This is what actually got me making these videos and doing these live streams, is what actually got me to risk what I did into crypto at the end of 2022. So I'm not doing burgers. I shouldn't have even said that, Ryan. God. Burgers. Oh. Smash the like. College debts are gone. Yeah, all getting out of debts. No need for loans. No banks, no mortgage. Just marry the rich girl. Oh. Do you think the cycle's going to stick? It's into elections. We have had unique events, and we've had black swans too. Yep, we covered that too. Right after October 10th. It was like, yep, the pi cycle indicator didn't hit. There's a chance. I think those are just lines on a chart. Doesn't matter. Just lines on a chart. Although when Bitcoin did go below the 50-week simple moving average, I did call bear market, and that was a line on a chart. But the sentiment was supporting it too. Back at the end of October. It's like, yep. Six burgers or seven. Oh my God. Here we go again. All my fault. This is a big nothing burger. That's what this is. Yeah, I'm getting into other stuff, mostly on financial. I'm sticking in the financial world. I mean, the whole like financial crisis thing was not about crypto. It was about everything else going on in the economy that's pointing to big problems coming. Big problems. Get yourselves out of debt. Yep, I've been talking about that for a couple of years. That was my whole life story leading into me going all in on crypto. The dollar gets inflated, the debt becomes a lot less. Matt, I've said, remember October 2022 when Elon bought Twitter? Bear market. But Dogecoin more than doubled in price. That's the catalyst part of Dogecoin in a 4-year cycle. It can go on a run when you least expect it. Now, it came back down, but it did go on a run. Went up 2.5 times. It was like 7 cents, and it went up to like 15, 16 cents, and then came all the way back down to 7 cents. We looked at it on the chart. That was in the middle of a bear market, October 2022. Mm-mm-mm. 20% crypto, 10% stocks, and the rest other stuff. Yeah. What other stuff, huh, DJ? What other stuff? What is that 70% of stuff? Yeah, like cash. The spread on Doge has narrowed. Yeah, that's typically low volume. As volume ticks down, that's what you'll find. The Leering Center. I thought we were all over that by now. I guess not. Do, do, do. 40% crypto, 60% stocks. Those numbers aren't adding. You've got some extra there, Johnny, in your math. You got a little extra. Pokemon collectibles. Yeah. Diversify. Yeah, Minnesota's pretty messed up, Charlotte. Pretty messed up. California's coming. California fraud is huge. Yeah, and that's all going to come out. That's all going to come out. All right, gang, off with the hat. Thanks for the cool Doges, Ryan. Always good. Hey, tomorrow we might be back in the 11s. We'll see. But Doge had a good day today, up over 4%. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So we'll see if that continues overnight. And we're starting to see a little progress here. Trump is probably going to say a bunch of dumb stuff. I think he's having a speech or something in the Oval Office at 6 o'clock. But it might be more about Iran and things like that. But that could be scary too. If all of a sudden we're bombing Iran, that won't be good. Hey, Charlotte, guess what? You're not going to like this. No boxes. The boxes disappeared. I erased the boxes. I got tired of seeing them. You have to go back in my old videos and live streams to see the boxes. I got rid of them. No more boxes. They weren't helping anymore. They weren't helping. Now the magnet is still up here at 30 cents, but I got rid of the boxes. Yeah, not making any more rectangles. So, I mean, you can see, right? It didn't work. That's what we have for Doge. That's not good. That's a bear market pattern here. Even my rectangles weren't helping that. Unfortunately so. That's not good. So is the next move to start to rebound and we get a mirror, right? Or something like that. Hey, that'd be awesome. Let's go. See how that plays out. But I'm not feeling good about later in the spring and into the summer. All right, everybody, give the video a like. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. More fun on Wednesday, my next live stream. Hope to see you then. Have a good one.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.